In the headlines. PDP convention kicks off as governors, others arrive venue. Terrorists kill 4 security officers in fresh ambush. Lagos records surge in pedestrian bridge use after fresh enforcement. Away from Nigeria, 9 killed in accidental explosion at Indian Kashmir police station. Hello, good evening. This is News Updates on Trust TV. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. Thank you for joining us. In political matters, host of the People's Democratic Party PDP National Convention, Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, has arrived at the Lagos Salami Stadium in Ibadan, the venue of the exercise. Makinde arrived alongside Governor Ahmadu Fintiri of Adamawa State, Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State, and the PDP Acting National Chairman, Umar Damagum. Other senior party officials are also expected to attend the convention, which will produce leaders to steer the affairs of the PDP ahead of the 2027 general elections. Despite the contention and litigation that trailed it for weeks, the convention is now underway in the state capital. Scores of delegates in colorful attire are pouring into the venue while supporters move around the stadium, quietly mapping out strategies for their preferred contenders. Security at the venue has been heavily fortified, with different law enforcement agencies present to maintain order during the convention. Meanwhile, Governors Ademola Adeleke of Osun and Abu Kefas of Taraba are conspicuously absent at the ongoing convention. Since the National Convention was announced, some members of the party loyal to the Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike insisted that some issues, including the conduct of congresses, be resolved. Still in the PDP convention, the Kebbi State chapter of the party has announced its decision to boycott the party's national convention scheduled for Saturday in Ibadan, Oyo State. According to the chapter's publicity secretary, Sani Dododo, the Kebbi PDP is distancing itself from the convention due to the candidacy of Kabiru Tanimu Tureki, who is seeking the position of national chairman. The chapter questioned Tureki's legitimacy as a party member, citing his suspension in April 2023 for alleged gross misconduct, anti-party activities, and failure to pay party dues. The suspension issued by his Nasarawa 1 ward also affected 7 other members, including former governorship candidate General Bello Yeki. In a petition dated October 25, 2025, the Kebbi State PDP formally notified the chairman of the screening committee for the National Convention of his rejection of Tureki's nomination based on these issues. The petition, jointly signed by Chairman Usman Bello Suru and Secretary Abubakar Bawa Kalugo, included a list of signatures and phone numbers from both the State Working Committee and non-working committee members, all expressing their opposition to Tureki's candidacy. Away from PDP convention, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio, National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Nentawe Yilwada, and other stalwarts of the party have arrived at Polo Stadium, Jos, the Plateau State capital, to welcome the campees from various political parties in the state. The Senate President, who arrived at the stadium with his entourage, is expected to receive former governorship candidates from the ruling People's Democratic Party, PDP, including retired General John Sura, former governorship candidate of Labour Party, Patrick Duckham, former Senator Aidi Gyang, and former Governor Caleb Mutwang's political advisor, Lateb Dabang. The Senate President is also expected to receive senators, representatives, and current members of the House of Representatives into the APC, amongst thousands of members from other political parties. While receiving the decampees, Our correspondent gathered that the vice president will be expected to reconcile a group members of the APC who have parted ways with the party since after 2023 elections. Party faithfuls at the venue said the event is expected to be a major boost to the APC, with several prominent politicians expected to join the party, adding that the Senate president's visit is a show of solidarity with the party's new members and an opportunity to strengthen the party's presence in the state. Troops of the 25 Task Force Brigade have repelled an ambush by terrorists around Wajiroko in the Ezremote area of the Mboa local government area in Borno State. The soldiers who were on a routine patrol to secure communities in the area came under heavy gunfire while returning from what the army described as a successful operation around the fringes of the Sambisa forest. The patrol was led by the commander, 25 Task Force Brigade, Brigadier General M. Uba, and included troops of the brigade as well as members of the Civilian Joint Task Force CJTF. According to an army statement signed by Lieutenant Colonel Apollonia Anele, Acting Director, Army Public Relations, the team fought through the ambush with superior firepower, forcing the insurgents to retreat in disarray and abandon their mission. However, the army confirmed the death of 2 soldiers and 2 CJTF members who paid the supreme price during the encounter. The Army High Command extended condolences to the families and associates of the fallen personnel, describing them as heroes who died in active service to the nation. The Army also dismissed rumors circulating online alleging that the brigade command was abducted during the attack and urged the public to disregard what it called fake news, insisting that the command led the troops back to base safely. Still in security matters, the headquarters of the Joint Task Force Operation Hadinkai in the northeast said the troops of 232 Battalion Tactical operating under Sector 4 of the theatre have recorded a breakthrough with the arrest of a key drug dealer and supplier to Boko Haram terrorists in Adamawa State. Zubairu Mohammed, aged 45, was arrested in the early hours of Thursday at Uba town. In a statement, the spokesperson of the theatre, Lieutenant Colonel Sani Uba, revealed that the suspect is believed to be a major distributor of cannabis sativa and ice substances to terrorists across Askira Uba, Chibok, Michika and Dombo areas of Adamawa and Borno states. Items recovered from him include 14 blocks of cannabis sativa valued at over 1 million naira, 43.9 grams of ice valued at over 3 million naira, and 2 army camouflage t-shirts reportedly used while peddling the illicit drugs. According to preliminary investigations, the recovered exhibits will be handed over to the National Drugs Law Enforcement Agency Yola Command for further action. Troops of the 3 Division Garrison Joint Task Force Operation Enduring Peace have arrested a suspected gun runner and recovered a cache of weapons in Plateau State in a major security breakthrough aimed at curbing the spread of illegal arms. In a statement signed by the Media Information Officer, Major Samson Zakum, the suspect, identified as Ishaya Musa, was arrested on Friday at the Jebubasa bypass checkpoint in Basa local government area during an intelligence-led stop and search operation under the newly launched Operation Peace Shield. Major Zakum said the troops conducted a thorough search on the suspect and his belongings, leading to the recovery of severally locally fabricated rifles, a Dane gun, an expended cartridge, and other materials believed to be linked to illicit weapons distribution. He emphasized that the operation reflects the commitment of JTF OPEP to restoring peace and security across Plateau and surrounding areas. Major Zakum also appealed to the public for cooperation, especially as the festive season approaches. Away from security matters, over in Katsina State, Islamic groups and clerics across the state have asked President Bola Tinubu to sack the newly appointed chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Joas Ojo Amopitan, over allegation of religious and ethnic biases. They made the call across various mosques in Katsina on Friday. Abdullah Yamadi tells us more in this report.
The chief imams referenced many instances where Judge Omopitan masterminded controversial issues relating to religious and ethnic sentiments. According to them, Someone with that background is not fit to lead a national institution like INEC. The Imams also linked the recent threat by America to invade Nigeria to one of the handiworks of Professor George Omepitan. They alleged that his ethnic and religious biases is capable of escalating religious tension in the country. These prominent Islamic leaders in Katsina are asking President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to reverse the appointment of the INEC chairman to restore confidence in the nation's electoral process.
The sermon was all about the situation we are in this country, security or insecurity situation we are, and the appointment of the new INEC chairman, Professor Joe Amopitan, who is one of the people that wrote to the American government and the United Nations and the ICC about the alleged genocide in Nigeria, which is unfounded, which his writings were all, or most of what he wrote was based on unfounded facts and twisted facts that he wrote about the alleged genocide in Nigeria. Whoever knows the slightest about the history of Nigeria knows that this country has encountered a lot of crises, a lot of misunderstandings between Muslims and Christians, between different ethnicities.
We Nigerians believe that we are all human beings, Muslim and Christians. Those people, if they attack Nigeria, so Nigeria is a country which involves Christians and Muslims and those who have no even religion. So that attack will affect everybody of us, every one of us. So we need peace.
And then we pass a message through the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that we are claiming or complaining, we the Muslim Ummah, about the new INEC chairman by name Joshua Ojo Fetan. We are claiming and we are complaining that we are not expecting the sanity from the person, because we have sayings from, we have many questions about him, as our scholars saying and our writers are saying against him, and he have some manners that we are not to agree about of that habit.
The Imams vowed to continue to mobilize Nigerians to reject the appointment of George Omopitan as INEC chairman to ensure peace and political development of the country. Abdullahi Izuma Yamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
From there we go to Anambra State, where Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo has confirmed that his predecessor, Willie Obiano, is alive and well. Now, this is contrary to what the governor described as malicious rumors and utterly false reports circulating on social media and certain online platforms claiming that Obiano passed away in a London hospital on Friday. In a statement signed by his chief press secretary, Kristen Aburiman, Governor Soludo categorically confirmed that he has spoken to Obiano and he is alive and well. He strongly enjoined all media practitioners, especially online publishers, to uphold the ethics of journalism by verifying information through official channels before publication. Governor Soludo wished Obiano continued strength, peace, and a long, healthy life of fulfillment in his abode. A return from the break, we'll take a look at Lagos recording a surge in pedestrian bridge use after fresh enforcement. Just stay with us, we'll be right back. Welcome back, thank you for staying with us. Now a recap of our 12 stories. We told you that the PDP convention has kicked off as governors, others arrive venue. We also told you that terrorists killed 4 security officers in fresh ambush. Now to more stories. Millions of Lagos State residents are now making use of pedestrian bridges, especially in the state capital, Ikeja, and across the Agege axis. This growing compliance follows renewed enforcement by state government officials who now arrest individuals crossing major expressways. Here's more in this report.
In Lagos State, pedestrian bridges constructed by various administrations, once abandoned by residents, are now witnessing increased use, particularly in Ikeja, the state's capital, and in Agege. Residents now use these bridges daily to access the other side of major roads, following the state government's directive empowering task force officials to arrest anyone crossing the expressways. In Ikeja and Agege, residents who previously crossed the busy roads or rail tracks are now compelled to use the pedestrian bridges, as the state government has erected high barriers, leaving them with no option but to climb the bridges for their safety.
When convenience is made for people to enjoy and prolong his life and for his own personal safety, still risking his life dashing across the expressway is a high risk. And most, I can say, 40-20% of those who try it never make it.
It's safer. It's safe. At least for avoiding the accident. It's safe, man.
And it is better to always use the pedestrian for safety and also for convenience.
It's very important for the safety of their life.
However, concerns remains as some residents continue to ignore government regulations, risking their lives by crossing the expressway. A number of those who declined to speak on camera argued that the available pedestrian bridges are insufficient, claiming that several bus stops in these areas lack nearby bridges and walking long distance to access one is time-consuming and exhausting. Efforts to get government officials to comment proved abortive, but other residents who use the pedestrian bridge expressed mixed feelings about the challenges, especially the stress associated with climbing them.
The bridge is too much, the stress is too much. Before you climb the bridge, it's not easy. So there's nothing like this of it.
But for people that are complaining that the pedestrian bridge, I don't know what they are up to.
Yeah, actually, the use of the pedestrian bridge is okay because actually it reduces death of people.
Stakeholders say to safeguard lives, it is advisable for all residents and visitors in Lagos State to make proper use of the pedestrian bridge provided by the government. They also say it is also important for the Lagos State government to ensure that all major bus stops across highways are adequately equipped with pedestrian bridges, as seen in Ikeja and Agege, where residents now make daily use of the existing structures.
A former executive secretary of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TET Fund, Professor Sulaiman Elias Bogoro, has described the amendment bill to change the status of Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi, from a specialized to a conventional university as inadequately informed. He made this known during a press briefing with newsmen at his office in Abuja. Professor Bogoro expresses concern over the reputation built by the institution in terms of quality graduates and departments that rate high amongst peers, and how such amendment will negatively affect the vision of the then Shehu Shagari government that founded the university as the only university of technology in the north, with Federal University of Technology Akure in the southwest and Federal University of Technology Owerri in the southeast. Recall that the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University Amendment Bill 2025, sponsored by Senator Shehu Buba, has been sent to Senate Committee for Tertiary Institutions and TET Fund for further legislative work after passing a second reading on October 21, 2025. The committee has been given 4 weeks to report to the President of the Senate.
Yeah, the committee was supposed to, submit its report, and I think invariably proceed to do, because they did the second reading, so it's supposed to go for public hearing. And I think, to the best of my knowledge, I understand part of the protocol of public hearing is they will advertise. On Monday. Pardon? On Monday. Yes. Okay. The public hearing will be holding on Monday, they said in Bauchi. I see. Well, they have their protocol in the National Assembly. Yes, in respect of getting persons, interest groups to make presentations. And we believe that the National Assembly will abide by its own procedures. And at the end of the day, let us do something that does not imply that we want to relegate technology, science. That will not be good as a message coming out from the ATBU that I'm very proud of.
In business, Bitcoin crashed to its lowest level in 6 months on Friday as a broad sell-off in risk assets dipping amid fading hopes that the Federal Reserve will cut U.S. interest rates at its upcoming policy meeting. Markets now price in about a 40% chance of a December rate cut, down from about 90% earlier this month, just over 60% earlier this week. In early afternoon trading, Bitcoin, the world's largest cryptocurrency, was last down 2.3% at $96,564, having earlier dropped to $95,885.33, its lowest since May 7th. Ether, the second largest cryptocurrency, was last flat on the day at $3,175.22 after dropping to a 10-day low. Selling in U.S. equities, however, eased slightly in the afternoon ahead of the weekend, but investors stayed on edge as they braced for a slew of economic data next week following the government's reopening after a record 43-day shutdown. Risk assets overall have come under pressure in recent days as expectations of a rate cut from the Federal Reserve next month have shrunk as a growing number of policymakers signaled an inclination to hold off on easing. In a foreign scene, 9 people were killed and 31 injured when confiscated explosives accidentally blew up at a police station in Indian-administered Kashmir, police said Saturday, just days after a car blast in Delhi killed a dozen people. The incident happened in Nogam, while the explosives at the police station were recovered from Faridabad in the northern state of Haryana earlier this week. Samples from the recovered material were being sent for further forensic examination since Thursday, the region's Director General of Police, Nalin Prabhat, said. The victims included police personnel, forensic team members, 2 crime photographers and other members from the local administration. Local media reported that the militant organization People's Anti-Fascist Front, PAF, said to be close to the Jaish-e-Mohammed Jim group, had taken responsibility for the explosion, but the region's police dismissed the claims. Attacks blamed on Jim include the 2001 assault on India's parliament and the 2019 Pulwama suicide bombing, which killed 40 security personnel. And in sports, the Confederation of African Football (CAF) has confirmed the Super Eagles midfielder Wilfred Ndidi is eligible to feature in Sunday's crucial World Cup playoff showdown against DR Congo. The clarification comes after concerns arose over the yellow card Ndidi received during the group stage of the World Cup qualifiers, which initially raised fears that he would be suspended for the decisive tie. CAF stated that cautions accumulated during the qualifiers did not carry over into the playoffs, meaning only players with confirmed suspensions are barred from participation. The development comes as a major boost for the Nigerian team, with Ndidi expected to play a vital role in the midfield as the Super Eagles push for a World Cup ticket. Nigeria will face the Leopards of DR Congo on Sunday in Rabat, Morocco, with the winners securing a place at the Intercontinental Playoffs in March 2026. And that ends news updates at this time on Trust TV. For more of our news programs and documentaries, do well to follow us on social media platforms on our YouTube live stream. I am Chiama Kamafo. Thank you for joining us at this time. Good evening.